All right, everyone. Another thing that's big in the news right now is scuttlebutt about Jill Biden. That is not Joe, but rather Joe's wife. And her influence over Joe Biden, whether she's causing him to stay in the race and it's elder abuse or something like that. I think that the left-wing media is overestimating Jill Biden's influence. I think that Joe Biden has a fairly traditional outlook on marital interactions, and he sees himself as the big boy. And I'm sure that, in some weird political way, he and his wife probably do love each other. Sort of like with the Clintons, though. It's like, they didn't get together just because they wanted to bang. Otherwise, they wouldn't both be banging other people constantly. No, they had a kid and they decided to seize power. Basically, that was the sum and substance of the reason they got married. It happened to work. I'm sure they were very happy about it, and I'm sure that they still are. Hillary did stand behind her man, and he definitely stood behind her, literally, most of the time. You don't want to be in front of Hillary Clinton when you go down a staircase, just to be clear. But Jill Biden, I don't believe, wields nearly as much influence over Joe Biden as some people estimate. Some people seem to think that she's the reason that he's in the race at all, and that, he should know better, and she's being, Grima Wormtongue. I disagree, and here's why. Joe Biden is an egotistical, cold, calculating bastard. The fact that he has cognitive decline now does not mean that central personality has gone away. He still really is that same cutthroat senator that passed the 1994 Tough on Crime bill. He's the same cutthroat that pretended to be the court jester for Obama, again inexplicably. He's the same person that he was. Dementia doesn't cause you to become a different person. It just potentiates it removes some filters on how you speak, how you think, and things like that. Joe Biden still does the I will stare you down angry old man thing now, doesn't he? He's still the same person. Inside, of course, on the external level, he's feeble and fragile and so forth. But I can guarantee you that behind the scenes, he don't take no shit. He is being used as a pawn by the powers that be, but he is carefully treated like he is the big boy in the room. Basically, I think that when they control him, they do it more from the framing of advice. So it's more like an advisory thing, like, Mr. President, this is what you should do. Here are the reasons why. They have to convince him. And so sometimes he probably goes off and refuses to do that, and they have to roll their eyes because he's not doing what the Uniparty wants, maximizing their profits. I don't think that Jill Biden controls him at all. I don't think his family controls him. If anything, I think that he's probably fairly resistant to their control because, again, he's the patriarch of the family. It would be odd for somebody with Joe Biden's particular personality to get so vegetable-esque. I mean, he can still walk. He can still talk. He's probably capable of changing his socks, although we're not sure. It would be difficult, I think, for a person like him to accept familial control, especially from a female. That's just my read on it. That's just the read that I get. As far as being, controlled inadvertently or in a roundabout way by military generals and stuff like that, corporatists, I think that that's definitely a possibility. But they have to do the Grima Wormtongue thing. I don't think that Jill Biden could convince him of anything. Basically, she's supposed to provide him his prune smoothie and his bran muffin, and then sometimes she has to sort of lead him around, but that's because he wanders off and doesn't know where he's going. That's not a form of control. If anything, it's a good thing about her character. It's a form of help. He's got a good wife, in all honesty, may not be as attractive as Melania, but definitely she supports her man. It's sort of like a Bill and Hillary thing. It's sort of like having that backup. After, being together for decades, I'm sure that at some point you sort of get used to that. He has problems, and she helps to compensate for it. Now, I think I know why the left-wing media is being so verbose about Jill Biden. They don't want Biden to be the candidate, specifically because of the Palestine issue. They're pissed at Biden right now. They want him out so they can put a leftoid in there, like an AOC or something like that. I don't think they're going to get their wish. So what do? Oddly enough, they go anti-feminist, fixate on Jill Biden, and act like she's the problem. Joe is the one that's choosing to stay in. He has been convinced, and I'm sure that there are other people around him that, they pat him on the back, tell him he's great and stuff. Mr. President, you're doing such a good job. Hey, and so forth. He is the one ultimately, though, at the end of the day, that has made the decision to seek re-election. And when people say, well, he's probably going to drop out now, I mean, that's possible. It's definitely more of a distinct possibility than it was before the debate. But keep in mind there is still another debate, and Joe is stubborn and egotistical. I'd be surprised if he dropped out. And I don't think it's because Jill Biden praises him and keeps people away and shoos them like flies and says, no, Joe, you're doing a great job because she wants to be in the White House. No, it's not because of Jill Biden, it's because of Joe Biden. Joe Biden wants to be in the White House. We all know this. He had those presidential aspirations long ago. I mean, he literally ran for the presidency before he was taken up as the court jester VP. He already had those ambitions, and he didn't have any cognitive decline back then. He was a little bit of a goofball. He was sort of like the wacky grandpa sort of figure back then, but he was still a cutthroat, and he still is. It's just it shines through more now. He's no longer even capable of holding up the happy old man act. Like, I am slightly goofy and a little bit zany, but I'm harmless at the end of the day. Now he scowls at people, does the Adderall face, and gets all hot and bothered. He gets all hot under the collar at people. He's less able to control himself, but that does not mean that Jill Biden is controlling him. That's about all. Peace out.